Welcome to iGlobal Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. To start the webinar, the Australian dollar surrendered to the bearish challenge with the overnight rebound off the fresh 2018 low of 73.44, which was right in front of the support at 73.20. The market has responded slightly to a bullish stance. For the start of this morning, I expect to see further upside tests and look towards the region at 74.15 or to 74.60.65. Now, the reason why I'm slightly bullish is the fact is that earlier in this week I mentioned that the immediate risk of the oversold condition for the Australian dollar was considerably to the fact that exhaustion sell-off might happen, and I believe that happened last night with the sell-off finding a potential base, as I say, at 73.20 with the low being 44. Is that the rebound is slowly coming and emerging into today's session. Support on the day seen at 73.55. It is interesting to see that the dollar index overnight went for the 95 challenge and rejected the high of 95.20 and fell back to 94.52 and settled in New York this morning at 94.55 area. It is viewed, though, that from the rejection for the third time of 95.20 is that I'm now believing that we are looking for a potential turnaround in the euro, with the market responding slightly to the bullish case of 114.85 to 115.05 earlier in the European session overnight, is the fact I'm looking up towards 116.30.45, and do note that was challenged overnight with the high being 116.32. Beyond 116.45, I'm a seller because I believe the market will foul towards the region of 117.20.30. And from a technical point, the market is, or should I say, not showing any upside increase in terms of momentum. So therefore, I do expect to sell on rallies and eventually market pullback to the initial target of 114.85. Then beneath there, we'll be looking at 112.80. Well, the dollar yen lost its footing after the US dollar, as I mentioned, did weaken overnight, and backing away from the high 111 now looks towards the recent lows of this week of 109.60 as a base, with 54 being the low. I do expect to see further strength from that region and see eventually a rebound back towards this top side at 110.45 to 111.15. As widely expected, the Bank of England kept interest rates for the sixth straight month at 0.50%. It is interesting to see, though, that the policymakers voted more to the away from 7-2 to come in at 6-3, with three of the voters now appearing more hawkish, does indicate that the pound may have actually found some momentum. And back in this story is that we've got a bullish outside range day. Therefore, this should see further scope to the upside and look towards the region of 133.10.60, with any dips to be a buy towards 131.80.90. I believe the market bulls are slowly restoring the support after challenging the level to the downside of 1,260, rebounded off 61. If that's the case, then I'm looking for a rise up towards 70, or maybe up towards the region of 76, and reassess from there. Any pullbacks or dips should be a buy from 60. The silver also stays a daring challenge to the downside and rebounds once again off that $16.15 area. I believe the market has found a base once again, and we are looking for a potential rise up towards 16.5 region. To round off with oil, well, the market is attempting to recover, but I believe the sell case is still pretty much factored in around $66.80 to $67.5, where this trend line is. Any advances, again, should be rejected like before, and I'm looking down towards 62.40.80 as a potential target. Well, that wraps up for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. And as always, look out for the intraday reports. And I hope you enjoy the day and a great start to the new weekend.